see.
Whoa,
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
Holy moly, you like right there.
oh my God. Got it here in 4K.
Gosh, that's crazy.
A massive tornado would touch down at 11:02 p.m. and in under a minute, it would grow to nearly a mile wide.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh, it's a huge tornado.
I wish service wouldn't sell.
Yeah, if there's any... No, Starlink could be working.
It's hard to see. Oh no, wait, hold on, almost.
It's spotty.
It's not there yet,
Yeah,
though.
it's just the left to right. It's a probably mile-wide tornado. Freaking mile-wide tornado.
Holy moly, bro.
Violent tornado.
Yeah, this is bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Big tornado. Oh, big
You gotta see it better now. It's really big.
At this point, the tornado
Holy
would be
moly.
harboring some of the strongest winds conceivable on the planet, and it was heading directly for a railroad track packed with train cars. Some of these cars weighing thousands of pounds. As the core of the tornado approached, 33 separate rail cars slowly keeled over off the tracks.
Oh my God.
And as the winds drove straight into the sides of the tankers, the force would violently tear apart the chain of cars in an arc-like fashion. It was as this chain of cars slid across the ground that the last car in the arc, now caught in the very center of the tornado, would detach from the train
Oh, wow.
and go airborne. The 36-ton metal tank likely began to tumble through the air, striking the ground several times before coming to a rest about 800 feet from where it originally sat. Forensic analysis of the damage done to these cars that winds of 230 miles per hour would be required to overturn a fully loaded grain hopper, and over 266 miles per hour would have had to have existed to loft the tanker car 480 feet from its resting
my
place.
God.
These are some of the strongest
That
calculations ever found.
100%
within a
confirms
tornado,
EF5 strength right
firmly
there.
placing it within the EF5.
Back by me, Entertainment Factory 16. For today's video, as you guys can see, we are yet again back at it, reacting to TornadoTRX's video once again. This is his newest video, though. He recently just did a video on the first ever EF5 trail we've seen in the world and the United States in over 12 years. Last one was the Moore 2013 EF5 tornado. I'll put all this information about that one on the screen right now, and everything I'll find about that tornado I'll put on the screen as well. Images, pictures, all that type of stuff, all the research and information. But I'm reacting to this awesome man's video and his channel once again. Just want to review this, and me personally review this since it will be my first time seeing it, and I find it really interesting. But anyways, before we do get in this video, if you guys would please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this one. But anyways, enough blabbering on. Let's get right into the video. Yeah, the Enderlin EF5 tornado. I will also put information about this tornado as well on the screen, because I also was surprised by the fact when this tornado was reported on the news as the first EF5 after they updated it. It was originally an EF3, by the way.
Probably a violent tornado in here, guys.
Ooh, no.
It's night in North Dakota, and storm chaser Freddie McKinney is filming a developing tornado near the town of Enderlin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shoot. Let's look at that. Let's get a pause frame, hopefully on the flash.
Oh my gosh.
Right there. Look at that thing. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Look at that. That's a monster right there. That looks exactly replicating of the Bridge Creek Moore tornado. If you guys do not know what that is, I'll put information on that tornado on the screen right now, and I'll put a link to the not only my video but mainly his, because he gave the documentary on the entire thing and all the information of its path, its strength, and all that type of stuff. But the Bridge Creek Moore tornado was a mile wide, happened in May 3rd, 1999, is the record-breaking strongest ever recorded wind speed tornado on the planet. It had wind speeds recorded by a Doppler on wheels radar truck, or known as a Dow truck, of 321 miles per hour. Originally 301, but it was later updated as it was later reviewed that it was 321. This looks exactly like that, and I will not be surprised, we'll see later in this video, if damage replicates the damage seen in Bridge Creek Moore. by the 1999 NATO.
Dude, freaking violent wedge.
Holy moly, though.
Violent wedge.
Massive. It replicates it perfectly. Perfect.
What
Literally.
Freddy doesn't know is the monster in the darkness is currently tossing train cars,
Yeah.
leveling houses, and would be the first EF5 level tornado in over a decade.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause a lot, but it's pretty crazy to think that this is the first EF5 tornado in over 13 years. No, 12 years. My bad. I'm sorry. My brain's not focused right now. I'm trying to. It's still crazy to think about though, because the last one, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, was the 2013 Moore tornado, and like the 99 Bridge Creek Moore tornado went through the community of Moore, Oklahoma, which happens to be really unlucky when it comes to tornadoes, and especially violent ones. But it's still pretty crazy to think about how long that lasted, and it's crazy to also think that it took 12 years, even though there was high evidence of multiple counts of tornadoes that were possibly and most likely actually EF5 strength, but were not really rated that strength. Even though they were highly likely to be EF5 strength tornadoes, but were instead rated EF4, interestingly enough. By the end of this video, I'm also going to do something a little interesting that I almost never do in most of my videos. I'm going to pull up this tornado drought since that time from 2013 and a little bit prior to now, with the first ever EF5 tornado happening in a 12-year period since the Moore tornado. I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to tell you guys as much as I know, all the information I've learned from this guy, from all my research and my weather factual information that I know, all the tornadoes that's going to show on this little data sheet kind of thing, or not data sheet, statistics showing recorded EF5s and possible EF5s. And I'll show you guys that, and I'll go over with you guys, and it's going to be a good time.
Currently in a frenzy. To understand why, we start
That's
with this system across the United States.
The trough.
It's bringing ingredients together over the plains. Extreme atmospheric conditions were being forecasted, and at a glance,
You know,
tornado outbreak seemed.
Okay, so I'm actually going to put up on the screen right now, I'm going to put up the severe weather outlook forecasted by the National Weather Service station on that same day that this tornado and tornado-like outbreak would happen. And I'll tell you right now, I've actually reviewed it, and it is really underrated. A underestimate of what would later happen. It is really bad because their highest chance they had, I remember, I'm not going to look at it right now, but the highest severity chance on the general thunder to high risk scale was a moderate, and on their tornado scale, the tornado scale possibility, it was a 10% max, and on the hail one and the winds one, I think it was 30 or 45% at max for both. And it really was an underestimate of what would actually happen, because this day would be the first day in history after 12 long years, over a decade, that we would see our first EF5 tornado in this country and in the world. Anyways, let's get right back in.
Likely, but there is one problem: the sun. With severe weather, heat is good until a certain point. The atmosphere.
Okay, hold on. I actually want to kind of argue with this a little bit, because I actually had one storm personally that had something interesting happen as well. So I can kind of agree with that, but I also can kind of argue with it. I'm not going to go crazy argument, guys, don't worry. But there was this day in where I live. It was, I believe, 110 degrees, or it felt like 120 degrees, so we all just stayed indoors. And the day was starting to cool down. It was still in the hundreds, though. It was starting to cool down, and what happened was the storm exploded in strength. And we got lucky. We didn't get the hit by the bad part of it, but it exploded in strength to a severe thunderstorm after it passed us. It strengthened to a severe thunderstorm, and went on to cause horribly bad damage. It was bad. It was bad, and that's why I kind of argue with this, because in my own opinion, yes, the higher temperature it gets, the less favorable, because the perfect spot for this bad, nasty weather to form, and in particular severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, is the 60, 70, and 80. That's the perfect range right there. You want that. That's what they want. It wants this perfect, only perfect condensed list down in temperatures. Anything higher most likely won't, but it still can, in my belief. In my belief, I think it still can, just because of that day I had. But that's my belief. Anyways, let's continue on. Sorry, doing a great
Requires
job.
heat energy to produce thunderstorms, but there's
Yeah,
a
there's a limit.
meteorological sweet spot before
Yes,
things
that's
get too warm.
I meant to
And
say,
when the
yeah.
air is too warm, it can prevent storms from forming
It's
at all.
yes. It was true for that day, for most of the day, but then it started to cool down just slightly enough for it to break through, which it made it interesting for me, because that day was so dang hot. I was surprised that even a storm even formed, even after it started to cool down a little bit. Anyways, let's get back in.
Heavy debate with professionals over if storms would even form, but the catch was if something, literally anything, could fire, the strength of the storm and any subsequent tornadoes would be extreme.
Yes. So that's what I just mentioned. I just mentioned that too. It's a lot less likely, as the temperature increases, it's a lot less likely for the storms to produce, because there's this, he said, a sweet spot, essentially. The sweet spot for storms, as I mentioned, the 60, 70, and 80 degrees is about the sweet spot right there, and the max should be about 80, I believe. Anything higher than that is going to start cutting off storms' powers, the storm's ability to constant form and become severe, or have a higher likelihood. But the thing is, if a storm can break through this, break through still in form, the severity of it is going to be absolute maximum. It's going to be incredibly strong, because, as I said, on that day we didn't expect a storm. We still got a storm when it was cooling down, but it was still in the 90s or 100-degree range. Around there. It felt like 110 still, probably, though. A storm broke, and within minutes of it forming, it became severe. So that's what happened when there's really high temperatures in the air, and there's a storm that somehow breaks through that, even with it above the sweet spot, no longer being able to constant, like, have all these thunderstorms forming rapid. Because that's what it is. The sweet spot is where all these different thunderstorms can start popping up. Above that sweet spot, it's a lot less likely for a bunch of them to pop up. It's a lot more likely for just a few. And if there's a few, they're going to be probably very strong, though, in those conditions.
The odds of this happening were just so low. Dozens of storm chasers make
same
the drive
with,
up to North Dakota for the microscopic chance of a storm firing. And the prospects looked pretty bad. Completely clear skies were present. No sign of thunderstorm development, and certainly no sign of a tornado. But by around 7 p.m., everything would change. Despite the warm air, a thunderstorm was able to form, and it was rapidly developing. In just 10 minutes, the thunderstorm already had rotation on radar.
Yes. So, well, not exactly the same, but that's easily the point right there. It's a lot less likely thunderstorms will fire up and form in hotter temperatures above the 80-degree, I believe, range. And I'll actually research this. I'm not exactly sure what's the actual range of temperatures, but I can definitely say for sure it's at least 60 and maybe 80. I don't know what that threshold is above that stops it from mass production of these thunderstorms. That's why I'm going to call it. But if a thunderstorm can break through this absolute hot atmosphere that prohibits most of the thunderstorms that would be able to form if it was cooler to form, they gain immense power really, really fast. Sorry for pausing so many times, guys.
The first tornado of the day.
But I just find it, I want to give you my
opinion. This was happening right as the supercell approached the town of Jamestown, North Dakota. Storm chaser Kelton Henderson would film the storm as it rapidly
heard of that guy a few times.
Rotating base over there.
Ooh. Look at that.
Oh yeah, here we go.
There it is. I was zooming in for you guys. Look at that tornado. Little thin cone.
It's tornadoing.
Not a cone,
wanna
but a
see which way it's
little
moving
thin
first.
string.
There you go, Jack. Boom! Big lightning strike.
It's not staying, not really on the ground.
It's wrapping.
Let's try it.
That's definitely a tornado.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I can't
Oh,
see.
funnel.
There's the funnel.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, it's become bigger. Look at that.
You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, do we need to go?
Okay, so
We're gonna get close to this thing.
Directly behind Kelton,
Okay.
storm chasers
That's
Freddie
crazy.
McKinney and Connor Croft
Wow.
would approach
Oh
the
my
storm
god.
as well.
I mean, he
filming
did.
the
He
development.
did mention though there was multiple storm chases that came to try and do and chase us, possibly very low chance of severe weather.
Violent.
Of really strong tornadoes.
Anyone wants to get close to
violence.
this? Matt.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not the
moly.
best one to get close
Oh my
to.
god. Look at that. Look at that thing, bro. Oh.
Why the
Oh,
RV is so
wispy,
insane? I'm
like-
about to get rolled.
Wispy like
I want to get out.
tentacles.
You want to point it in
Okay, now it's trying to condense.
No, what I want to do is get out of my
See
car.
it very slowly. There we go. It's coming down a little bit more.
But good luck.
It's not there yet, but it's getting
Pretty
close. It's getting a little bigger too.
Tornado.
Closer to the stovepipe. Oh, that's another storm chaser.
You're right.
There's Freddy. Oh, condense.
Oh my gosh, that is a freaking hog.
That is a stovepipe.
monster.
Or actually, that's thicker than a
Absolute
stovepipe.
monster tornado here. Gotta watch the color
Look at
cloud.
that.
Thing is insane.
That is crazy
Violent
right there.
tornado. Violent tornado here.
The extreme
Holy
tornado
moly,
would
look at that
begin
thing.
in an open field, but numerous roads and homes still sat. in
And just
the
a reminder,
path
this is not the
of how
Enderlin
volatile
trail
the
yet.
atmosphere was.
This is a
Literally
storm that I
anything
think
in the
will
path
form the
would be
Enderlin tornado.
eviscerated.
Turns.
Nah, it's all right. Oh my god.
Holy, look at all this
Oh my
debris.
god. We're close. We're
Look
close.
at that.
We're close.
It's a big wind field.
Holy cow.
That's big.
Oh, here we go. This is.
Okay, hold on. I actually want to take a moment here. Dude, look at that. I know I'm going to zoom this in as well, but you see like the little things I'm seeing on the side of the trail? It actually looks crazy. I've never seen a lot of trails have that. Normally a trail's like really smooth looking, so it's just like a clear line side. And a trail would look something like this, but it doesn't have like those little protruding sides. I don't know if you see what I'm seeing, but I'm going to zoom it in for you guys. But I'm seeing this like interesting looking like spikes coming out of the side of the tornadoes. It's pretty cool actually.
A huge tornado.
It is pretty dang big. And it doesn't even look like it's moving.
Yep.
It's
Guys,
looking like
huge
it's
violent
stationary and
tornado
just
here.
frozen,
This is a
sitting there to
huge
be taken
tornado.
of pictures.
Problem is there's a million people up on it.
Getting huge.
It's getting massive. There's a million people up on it is the problem.
Holy
I'm watching to
moly.
make sure it's still moving left to right, Jack.
Yeah, you've got it. You've got it. It's
God.
big. It's big.
Oh, moly.
I'm getting water on
It's a beast.
Oh
It's
my
getting
god, man.
bigger.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh my god.
It is
While
getting
most
bigger. for sure.
chasers were getting a backlit view from the south, one local chaser, Kayla Gilbertson, would record from the west side, where the sun would illuminate the vortex and show its violent motion.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Holy moly. Oh my god! Gosh. It's a big one. Not the biggest, but a big one. For sure. Holy moly, these are good shots right here, too. Look at that. All this.
Traditional chasers were not the only people tracking the intense tornado. To the west, a research team called the Otis Project
The
was
Otis
also
Project.
there. The goal of the project was to fly specialized drones into tornadoes to collect atmospheric
Ooh.
data, and they were about to get the data of a lifetime.
Ooh. Dude, this is actually really cool. They're gonna fly it into the tornado. Okay, well, it looks like the tornado's taking them captive because... Oh, wow.
As Otis circles the tornado, the drone begins to be sucked around the vortex, and the inner structure becomes apparent.
Okay, let's see this. Oh, wow. Look at that. You actually kind of saw a little bit of the inner structure. The tornado just keeps sucking the drone back in. Look at the drone doesn't even have any control. The tornado's just like grabbing and like
By this
tossing
point,
around like a
based on
toy.
appearance and radar analysis, The tornado was likely in the upper echelon of intensity, and so far, it had avoided most structures in the area.
Yes.
This was about to change.
Oh,
A singular
no.
farmstead would be engulfed by the outer wind field, and even though it was only grazed, extreme damage would occur at the property. But the most incredible
Holy moly.
damage wouldn't occur to the structures. Rather, it would occur to the vehicles. As multiple cars from the property
Okay, let
are
me see.
siphoned into the tornado, they are shredded to nothing. Images show bare
Oh my lord. And, okay. Let me just take this in picture. I'm gonna try and see if I can find the exact same image he showed in his previous video, the Bridge Creek Mortuary. I'm gonna try and pull that up and put a picture on screen to show the comparison of the car damage he's shown from that tornado to this. And I'm not joking when I say this. To try and remember this, I swear to God, the damage done to the vehicles by this tornado that's not even rated EF5 compared to the F5 strongest winds tornado recorded, the damage is more severe to the vehicles here than is to the F5 Bridge Creek Mortuary vehicle damage. I'm not even joking. That is horrible. There's nothing. It's the bare part of the vehicle itself that actually puts the structure together. There's the, how do I describe this? I can't even describe it. And I'm not really a vehicle guy, but like seriously, it's literally down to the literal parts that set up the way the vehicle's built out. It's ripped up everything, all the metal, everything. It's just left with the setup of the vehicle. That's the only way I can even describe this. Like, geez Louise, all purely destroyed. It's ripped apart. And I guarantee you this was not rate EF5. And it should have been, because this damage right here is absolutely extreme. Even the F5 Bridge Creek Mortuary, and I swear to God, I'm going to pull up that image. It's not even as bad. It is not as bad. There's still pieces of metal on the cars in those tornadoes than there is here.
vehicle frames on top of unearthed soil from where the tornado was quite literally digging into the ground.
My God, bro.
There is no doubt this tornado was already unfathomably violent. As the vortex began to reach peak intensity, chasers would watch as the storm began to shroud itself in heavy rain.
Getting closer to us, are we okay? No, we're good.
Not yet. It's trying
Dude,
to.
this is a tornado that you can't screw with.
No, it's not.
This is a tornado. If you get too close to this, you freaking die, dude.
I mean, yeah, it's bad. Oh, it's trying it. Oh, there it goes.
It's disappearing into the rain.
There it is. I can.
Alright,
Yep, I can't
officially
see it.
lost visual on the camera.
Can't see it anymore.
Goodness.
I think HP.
Yeah,
I
it's
think we
like
need to go
impossible to see a trail now. It became rain wrapped,
lost
which is
it.
bad.
Lost it completely.
That is bad.
I don't like
Getting
this.
out of here, folks. Can't see it.
I'm getting out too.
Yeah, just no. When it's
Now,
really bad when a
the
trail gets
tornado
rain wrapped.
would begin to change direction as it also began to dissipate. This first circulation would be named the Spiritwood tornado, and its final rating, despite the extreme nature, would be EF3 due to the minimal damage it caused. As the sun began to set, the storm would ramp
Yeah,
up
I'm
to
also gonna put
produce its next
statistics if I can
tornado.
find the Spiritwood
Connor
tornado.
Croft would get ahead of the new
That's
circulation.
that's
as it formed.
really
Unlike
underrated.
the first tornado, which
You know
began
what?
extremely visible,
I'm actually gonna
this
research
next
something.
one
I'm gonna
would
see
instantly wrap
what
itself
wind
in
speeds
rain
it takes
as
to
it
rip
grew to
apart
over half a
almost
mile
every
wide.
single part of
Oh,
the
coming
vehicle,
down.
so the bare setup of the vehicle. I need to look at that.
Gonna come down, guys.
And I swear to God, it's gonna be stronger than EF3 winds.
Large stovepipe on the ground now.
Wouldn't go
It's like
farther
rain
either
wrapped.
unless you really booked it. Yeah, because it's about to cross the road.
You
We
can't
just
see
gotta
it.
make sure, watch the rain. If those trees like start to disappear or something, that's our cue to get the hell out.
The large tornado would quickly dissipate.
Yeah.
Its track through open fields allowed it to cause minimal damage, though analysis of radar scans suggested the second tornado was also extremely strong. The Valley City tornado would be rated EF2. By this point, the sky was pitch black.
This is the problem with the current enhanced Fujita scale, and this is probably why we didn't have a confirmed EF5 tornado in the amount of time we did. Is because even despite the name enhanced, it wasn't really enhanced. It was the same thing as the Fujita scale because they took into account. Well, it actually seemed like a back step before the Fujita scale. I'm not even joking because it's like they took in consideration not even the structures. Because I'm going to mention again, at the end of this video, I'm going to review this little chart, a line chart that I've found from Wikipedia. It's pretty interesting though. It looks really cool. And I'm going to show you guys this and I'm going to review it with you guys. And I'm going to tell you and I'm going to analyze it essentially and review it. All the tornadoes that were possibly had a chance of EF5 strength, but were not rated EF5 because of this EF5 scale. Because the EF5 scale, despite saying it's enhanced, is not really enhanced. It doesn't take in the category a bunch of things despite its enhanced status.
Black and night had fallen. It had seemed
Because
the outbreak
the
of
thing
tornadoes.
is, they somehow see a slab structure that they viewed back then, a slab structure of a modern home or a certain home that's well built. Let's just say that. They see that now as an EF4 instead of what it was an EF5. So it makes it no point of an EF5 because it's designed now. The scale is designed to literally eradicate the EF5 scale. That's kind of how it was. This enhanced Fujita scale was designed to be.
Was coming to an end. However, a second storm south of the main one began to show signs of intensification. In just 45
this
minutes,
one right here.
this storm would produce one of the most extreme tornadoes in modern
This
history.
is the one.
Pretty much every storm chaser in the area notices the uptick in intensity on the southern storm. It begins to bail south through the blinding rain and wind. The storm doesn't wait for chasers to come to it though, and produces its first tornado near the town of Fort Ransom at 10:15 p.m. This tornado, unlike the massive wedges so far, was relatively thin. It narrowly missed multiple homes. While it curved to the north, one chaser, Tanner Charles, was able to get in position to catch the end of the tornado.
Oh, it is like freaking twisters up in this joint, bro.
Look at that. That is a really cool picture of the tornado right there. That is really awesome. That is really cool though. Like seriously, that's like this and it curves like that. That is really cool. I like that. It's a cool picture of a tornado.
Look at that pipe, guys. You can see it in the. You can see it.
Stovepipe tornado right there. That is crazy. That literally does look like a tornado from the Twisters.
This intense but
classic
short-lived tornado is a common occurrence in extreme supercells, ramping up in intensity, almost like the storm is calibrating its rotation before unleashing a monster. And at this point, the storm was ready. Paved road options around the storm funneled the majority of chasers first south, east, and then heading north, viewing it from the south.
We're headed north to Sheldon. If that couplet is legit, there should be a strong tornado.
It's not.
It would be better than that. Oh, look at that hook. Holy moly, that's a crazy looking hook.
Whoa, that was so close.
There's something dusty back there.
Copy, blasting north right now.
Oh, is it rain wrap right now? Let's see this.
Tornado, guys. Wedge tornado. I can confirm.
Oh, definitely. Down.
Oh, whoa. Okay, let's try and get a good picture of that. Let's try and get a good pause.
To my northwest. I can confirm.
Oh, definitely.
There. Oh my god. Is that... Hold on. Can we see, like... Let's see, can we see it? I mean, you see something, but it's like... It looks like it's kind of rain-wrapped. Is that the tornado itself? It's really hard to see it, guys. It really is. That's really crazy looking, though. Like, it's the sky. I don't even know how to describe it, guys. It's crazy looking. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god, monster.
Tornado.
Definitely a big one, though. You could tell.
Holy cow, that's a monster.
Yeah, I think there's a tornado. Yeah, there's a tornado.
Tornado.
Big wedge tornado.
Oh, I couldn't catch that. Shoot, my bad, guys.
Oh, that left edge is huge, bro. A freaking massive tornado.
Let's see.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
Holy moly, you like right there.
Oh my god.
got it here in 4K.
Gosh, that's
Insane
crazy.
violent.
The massive tornado would touch down at 11:02 p.m. and in under a minute, it would grow to nearly a mile wide.
Oh my god.
My gosh, it's a huge tornado.
I wish service wouldn't sell.
Yeah,
all I gotta
if there's
say.
any... No, Starlink could be working.
It's hard to see. Oh no, wait, hold on, almost.
It's spotty.
It's not there yet,
Yeah, it's
though.
just the left to right. It's a probably mile-wide tornado. Freaking mile-wide tornado.
Holy moly, bro.
Violent tornado.
Yeah, this bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Big tornado. Whoa, big
You gotta see it better now. It's really big.
At this point, the tornado
Holy
would be
moly.
harboring some of the strongest winds conceivable on the planet, and it was heading directly for a railroad track packed with train cars. Some of these cars weighing thousands of pounds. As the core of the tornado approached, 33 separate rail cars slowly keeled over off the tracks.
Oh my God.
And as the winds drove straight into the sides of the tankers, the force would violently tear apart the chain of cars in an arc-like fashion. It was as this chain of cars slid across the ground that the last car in the arc, now caught in the very center of the tornado, would detach from the train
Oh, wow.
and go airborne. The 36-ton metal tank likely began to tumble through the air, striking the ground several times before coming to a rest about 800 feet from where it originally sat. Forensic analysis of the damage done to these cars.
Oh, I want to see this. This is interesting. Okay. Oh my god. This is crazy math. Holy moly.
Concluded that winds of 230 miles per hour would be required to overturn a fully loaded grain hopper, and over 266 miles per hour would have had to have existed to loft the tanker car 480 feet from its
Oh
resting
my
place.
God.
These are some of the strongest
That-
calculations ever found
100%
within a
confirms
tornado,
EF5 strength right
firmly
there.
placing it within the EF5 category.
See, that's what it should be. That's what the enhanced Fujita scale should be, because it's called enhanced, so you had to put actual more calculations into it. You can't just stay with the same scale. The Fujita scale is a damage scale. It was based on damage, and it's still, the enhanced is also based on damage, but you also got to put calculations into it. You can't just guess because you only use building damage to characterize tornadoes. That is not what the enhanced Fujita scale should be. That is backwards. That is the Fujita scale. The Fujita scale takes account only building damage. That is the wrong way to think. We are in 2025 now. It's been nearly 20 years, 2 decades since we've put in place the enhanced Fujita scale. It needs to work better. It needs to be like this, because the calculations make sense, and it makes sense. The calculations make factual, correct sense for what the strength of the trail is.
Category, the highest possible classification.
Yes.
And it was now heading directly for homes. To the northeast, within the town of Enderlin, North Dakota, resident John Lux would film the tornado from a gas station parking lot.
Wow. Look at that thing. That is a crazy looking tornado. That is one of the most, that is almost the
Stitching
most
together
bizarre
frames
tornado
of
I've
the
ever
video.
seen. Hold on. Yeah, look at this. That is ridiculous. That is really crazy looking. That's the wall cloud holding up the trail. The trail's right here. That is bizarre. That is not as bizarre as what this man himself, awesome man himself, TornadoTRX captured, but it's pretty dang high up there to see something like this. This is not what you normally see, honestly. This is like bizarre looking. Out of this world, like an alien mothership and its invading tube coming down, striking the planet. That's what it kind of describes me of.
Shows the over mile-wide wedge tornado. Above it is some of the most incredible storm structure ever.
Yeah, it's
Inside,
crazy.
Storm chaser Alex Russell would take a
Crazy,
series of photos
horrifying,
of
and
the
beautiful at the
tornado
same
in the
time.
distance, further showcasing the
Oh
incredible
my
storm
god!
structure and enormous size of the tornado. The circulation, now over a mile wide, would hit its first structure. While not a direct hit, the home would still be practically destroyed. Luckily, no one was home
Wow,
at the time.
holy
As the
moly.
path curved to the north, swaths of forest would be violently shredded, with some trees removed completely from their root systems and thrown. By this point, the tornado was crossing Highway 46, and across the highway were 2 homes with people inside.
Oh, no.
As the core crosses directly between the structures, the violent winds would sweep both completely off their foundations.
Oh.
Nothing would remain of either property. At the west home, cognizant residents would shelter below ground in their basement, surviving with minor injuries. However, an older couple in the east home, Michael and Catherine Den, would not share the same fate, instantly dying as the home ceased to exist. The tornado at this point would begin to turn due north, similar to the rest of the tornadoes in the outbreak. Chasers would continue filming as the tornado shedded its cloud base, exposing a sprawling tube in the night sky.
No, these trees, man. There should be a gap. So many
I don't
trees
see
on
it.
this road.
Oh, maybe. Oh, there it is. I see it
Dude, you
now.
look at that
It's
thing.
really hard
Oh,
to
it should be
capture
a
it.
tiny road.
It is really small though. It's like really hard to capture.
Yeah, that's a tube. You see it? Yeah.
It's kind of hard because it almost blends in with the clouds.
Unfortunately, the extreme tornado was not done, and another home lies in its path. Once again, as the core moved directly overhead, the house was completely decimated, instantly killing 89-year-old Marsario Lucio. The vortex would finally end its path at 11:20 p.m., being on the ground for nearly 20 minutes. Strangely, the storm would produce another wedge tornado after this time moving at a bizarre southeast direction.
What the?
Fortunately, though, it hit mostly open farmland, and as it dissipated, the tornado outbreak would end just before midnight. For 108 days, the Enderlin tornado would remain at an EF3 rating, perhaps
Yep.
an unfortunate underestimate of the extreme winds.
Yep.
But on October 6th, the National Weather Service would release their official calculations for the train cars, officially upgrading the tornado to EF5,
Yep.
the first EF5 rated tornado since the 2013 Moore tornado over 12 years prior. Rating was certainly a point of discussion online. Objectively speaking, while destructive, the Enderlin tornado
Yeah, look at the difference right there. Yeah, the Joplin Trail, 4,000 structures. Holy moly, that's crazy, honestly. 4,000 structures. The Joplin. Okay, EF5. Yeah, under the enhanced Vegeta scale. So Joplin number 1, the Moore Trail, which was the last EF5, 2,000. The Hackleburg, Alabama tornado, 1,900. Greenberg, Rainsville. Okay. Parksburg, Iowa, 100. Smithville's, Minnesota, or Missouri, my bad. 2011. Piedmont, Oklahoma. Philadelphia, Missouri. Mississippi. Why do I keep saying with Missouri? It's not Missouri. It's Mississippi. Anyways. And then the Enderlin, North Dakota tornado. Yeah, it's the least destructive EF5 of all the EF5s that have been rated under the enhanced Vegeta scale. Yeah, I'll also put information about all these trails on the screen right now, pictures as well. Yeah, these are bad tornadoes, and I think I know almost every single trail except the Parksburg, Iowa. Yeah, the Parksburg is the only one that's slightly unfamiliar to me. Of course, I obviously know the Joplin, Missouri tornado because that one, I mean, come on. That is like one of the most infamous trails, EF5 trails. And I've watched a documentary about it, so I know a lot about that trail and personal experiences of people who lived to tell a tale. And yeah. But yeah, you could see the least destructive was the Enderlin, North Dakota tornado. Short amount of time and rather formed in rural terrain, so it makes sense that less structures were destroyed. But of those, massive damage was inflicted upon those structures.
is the least destructive of any EF5, sparking debate over how more significant tornadoes, like the Rolling Fork EF4 or Mayfield
Yep.
EF4, didn't get the same treatment.
This is what I'm talking about here. Okay. So I'm going to go into this a little bit more now. And I'm also going to go into that line chart I'm talking about because I want to show you guys that and I think it's interesting. The Rolling Fork EF4 tornado was a tornado that caused catastrophic damage, ridiculous amount of damage. Same damage EF5 tornadoes classified because under some random circumstance, though, despite what it shows as well, that the magnitude of the EF5 damage ratings is normally of higher end damage destructions of, or full destruction of the homes on a higher scale by EF5 tornadoes. It's unfair to give these lower classifications because these did the same destruction as well, higher end destruction, and the damage was eerily to identical to EF5 damage. The Rolling Fork 2023, what was it? Shoot, I think it's Mississippi, but it's probably not. The Rolling Fork 2023 tornado was an EF4, high-end EF4 according to the National Weather Service, but I believe it's an EF5. 195-mile-an-hour winds. There was literally proven, there was a destruction caused by a tornado that was proven to be classifiably take EF5 mile-per-hour winds, but they still wrote it off as an EF4. It's really, I don't know why, but they did. I don't know why. And then the Mayfield. Let's go over this one. This is the one that makes it even more crazy. This is the second strongest, I believe, or actually the third strongest tornado on Earth recorded. This tornado had winds from a Dowtech scan, as I mentioned the bridge tornado. A Dowtech scan with this tornado caught winds of over 300 miles an hour. It caused mass destruction in Mayfield, Iowa, I believe. Mayfield, Iowa. It caused mass destruction, and despite that, it was still rated EF4, despite the high categories of damage that were similar to EF5 again, and the confirmation of Dowtech wind scans. You cannot just take building damage into account with this enhanced G skill. You gotta take everything into account because you've got to match this all together and mash it all good with calculations and math and all this other stuff, and you'll get the good answer. But this is not. These are grossly underestimates because despite EF4s are really strong, these are definitely deserving of EF5 strength, and that's my opinion, and that's probably most people's opinions. And again, I'll put information about these tornadoes.
The hope is that the Enderlin rating will set a precedent for future and potentially past evaluations of tornadoes, leading to less historic EF5 droughts and more scientific analysis on
more accurate ratings. Let's just say that, because the enhanced Fujita scale, in my opinion, is flawed by multiple counts because it's the same thing as the last one, and it only takes into account building. It doesn't take account, wind maybe. It doesn't take into account vehicles. It doesn't take into account trees, and that's the reason why I think this one originally was an EF3, as he mentioned. It was rated an EF3 for so long because, or actually no, they still didn't even, no. Even though the building damage highly supported, as far, I mean, I'm not sure, he didn't mention what the strength. He didn't mention what the homes were. He didn't mention if they're mobile or if they were well built, but I'm going to assume they're well built. He said they were fully destroyed, and the National Weather Service Station still rated an EF3 despite full destruction of, let's just say they were well built homes. That is EF5 damage. That is not EF3 damage. The trees were, he said, ripped out of the ground, and I don't think he said debarked, but they probably were debarked. And they still looked at that and said EF3. The trains were thrown. Those were high heavy weights that the train was able to throw, or it threw one at least, and it was a high heavy weighted one, and they still rated EF3, but they finally actually did a reanalysis and a correct calculation on this stuff, and they figured out, right, finally we're gonna make correct, accurate predictions on these, or not predictions, but calculations to make sure we don't mess up, because most of the trails that they've rated EF4 are actually EF5, and that's my opinion. But I do believe this. Also, by the way, if you guys see this video, a little pop-up over here, the Valona trail. Valona tornado. I'm also going to go over that in this little chart I'm going to show you guys in a bit.
Tornado damage. At the end of the day, ratings do not erase or add to the destruction a tornado has caused. And we remember the victims of the Enderlin EF5. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Thank you for making this video, man. I do really appreciate this, man. He's definitely helped me learn a lot more about tornadoes, and tornadoes I've never heard about. By the way, the Valona tornado, I never even knew that was a tornado. He informed me about that one. Let's see, a lot of the tornadoes as well still I did reactions on to him making. I believe I used to not know the jail tornado, actually. The jail tornado, I actually did not know what that was for some time. And then I eventually figured out that's the Denman walking trail. I learned and got myself educated from this man and from some research as well. Okay, I'm going to say all this. The red is candidates of EF5 tornadoes that were outlined in the 2025 study after the confirmed EF5 tornado of the Enderlin, North Dakota tornado. But these are just candidates in general of EF5 tornado strength. So we go here, see 2010, there's 1. I actually don't know what that, actually no, 2010 has 0. 2011, there were 7 candidates of EF5 tornado strength that were outlined, and 6 of them were EF5 tornadoes confirmed. The 6 EF5s were the Joplin, the Hackleburg, what else? Joplin, Hackleburg, Smithville, what else is there? I actually don't remember all of them. Shoot, god dang. I don't remember. 6 EF5 tornadoes that year. I actually don't know. I'm gonna put all the statistics though. All the actual statistics up for you guys, because of course I'm not perfect. No one is on this earth, so I actually don't remember the 6. I don't remember what that other candidate would be for an EF5 tornado in 2011. I'll have to find it for you guys. You know what? I'll find it for you guys. In 2013, there were 2 candidates of EF5 tornadoes. One was the actual confirmed EF5 tornado was the Joplin, or no, not the Joplin. I'm mixing up stuff. The Moore, Oklahoma 2013 tornado, last EF5 tornado in the 12-year period until the Enderlin, North Dakota. Again, I don't know the actual candidate for that other EF5 for 2013. Or, no, 2013? Oh, so the other one, okay. One of the candidates for the EF5 tornado in the 2013 year, that was 100% the El Reno. The El Reno, just as mentioned, like the 2024 Mayfield tornado, which had downwind scans of confirmed over 300 miles an hour. The El Reno tornado, not only the widest tornado and the most unpredictable tornado in human history that we've recorded so far, but it was the second strongest tornado on Earth. It had downwind speeds of, I believe, 296 to 331. That was that was the range of the wind speeds. I don't know the actual precise, and I'll pull up information for you guys on the screen. But that's about the range of the wind speeds for that one. And then the 2014 EF5 candidates, we have the Valona 2014 tornado. That's one of them for sure. That one, I believe, I'll also put information about that one on screen. That one had, I believe, it was 190 mile per hour winds at max, and it caused absolute devastating damage to well-built homes. That slabulation, and still was rated EF4, despite the fact that EF5s are the ones that caused that. That was what the standard was, but for some reason, the enhanced G scale sets a standard where it smacks the EF5 scale off it and puts an EF4, and that's it. 2015, I actually don't know that. Again, I'm actually going to find that for you guys. 2015, I don't know. 2020, shoot, what the heck was the 2020? It was probably during the 2020 Easter outbreak, I think it was. Yeah, I'll also look that one up for you guys. I really don't know. The 2021, that was the Quad State tornado. That was what the heck is the name of it? I forgot the name of that tornado, actually. Other than the Quad State, because that one went through, I think it was 4 states or 3. I think it was 4 actual states it went through. But there was a tornado back in 2021, I believe December, it was the late season tornado, that actually set a record beating the 1925 tri-state tornado, going through 4 states, I believe, and I think it actually traveled longer and stayed on the ground longer, as far as I remember. I'm not positive, but I think it did. Okay, yeah, I'll also look that one up more, and give you guys all that information. I actually don't remember the name of the 2021. 2023 EF5 candidate, 100% the rolling fork, because that was an EF5, and I can tell you that. Put information on the screen, I will, for you guys. And then the one EF5 so far this year as well. It's possible we might have a late season trail again that actually becomes an EF5. We don't know, but it's possible. Anything is. And yeah, we end off here, 2025, the Enderlin North Dakota Trail. Again, information I'm going to pop on the screen for you guys. And yeah. Anyways, guys, I really do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Go check out my awesome man's channel, TornadoTRX's, for making this awesome video and always being a great man and awesome creator. And I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more awesome reaction videos. And anyways, I'll see you guys all later. Bye.